Good morning, everyone. This is T.G. Shaktivel, Associate Professor from Mechanical Engineering Department from Panimal Institute of Technology. It is my immense pleasure to introduce our chief guest, Dr. Ganesh, for our AICT-sponsored short-term training program. So, Sir has completed his BE in the year 1999, Government College of Engineering, Tirunelveli, and he completed his ME in Automobile Engineering in the year 2002 in Anna University, and he has done his PhD in Mechanical Engineering in Anna University in the year 2013. And he has nearly 20 years of teaching experience. Presently, he is now working in Sri Venkateswara College of Engineering. Sir has achieved many things throughout his journey of teaching. Here I will mention few. Sir received a grant of rupees 7,500 for the project titled Design and Fabrication of Load Adaptive Braking System on a two-wheeler through Tamil Nadu Council of Science and Technology for the year 2019-20. He performed as a mentor for final year project and received the Innovative Student Project Award at bachelor level 2017 for the project titled Design of Variable Braking System Using Intelligent Dual Calipers on 15th December 2017, awarded by Indian National Academy of Engineering, New Delhi, which is in India. Then he organized a faculty development program on 2 and 3 wheelers during 27th November to 5 December 2017 at Automobile Engineering Department, Sri Venkateswara College of Engineering, Chennai. The program is sponsored by Anna University. He also organized the faculty development and training program on vehicle dynamics during 23rd to 30th November of 2016 at Automobile Engineering Department in SVCE. This program was sponsored by Anna University. And he also organized the two-day workshop on fundamentals of vehicle dynamics using modern tool during 28 January and 29 January of 2019 at Automobile Engineering Department, SVCE. The program is sponsored by Sri Venkateswara College of Engineering, which is in Chennai. He also organized the faculty development program on vehicle dynamics using MATLAB during 27th November to 1st December 2018 at Automobile Engineering Department, SVCE. The program is sponsored by the same college, that is SVCE at Chennai. He also published more than 20 plus papers in various journals and conferences. He presently guiding 3 PhD Anna University research scholars, and a research scholar has completed his PhD in 2020 under his guidance. So these are the profiles. I mentioned a few. I don't want to take much time. So thanks for STTP team for giving this opportunity. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Shaktivel, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Yes.
Thank you. Shall I continue, sir?
Yes, sir. Ganesh, sir, the session is yours. Yes.
Thank you, Shaktivel, sir, for introducing me in the forum.
Thank you,
First
sir.
of all, I would like to. Hello.
Thank you. It's my pleasure, sir. Thank you, sir.
Yes, thank you. My voice is audible. Hello. Clear?
Yes, sir. Clear. Yes.
Thank you. Yes. I will make. First of all, I would like to thank the management of Panimal Institute of Technology for inviting me for this program, STTP program, to deliver a lecture. I would like to express my sincere thanks to head of the department, Panimal Institute of Technology, Mechanical Engineering, and Murugan sir, and coordinator, and faculty members, and supporting staff, everyone who involved in this activity. So today I'm going to discuss, right, the faculty development program, right. So we are going to discuss about the application of FEA in vehicle dynamics. This is the topic I'm going to take. So while handling this topic, I have taken 2 case studies. First one is simple. It's not practical, it's more theoretical. Second one is more practical. That means more practical means real time application. Okay, so this is simple. So whenever if we take a consider a vehicle, right? If you look at this diagram, actually this is a car, right? They are giving force. You can call it as tractive force, right? And the drive wheels, generally in a car, most of the cars, the drive wheels, the front wheels are drive wheels. So we are giving torque using engine. We are giving torque. The torque is converted as force. If you look at this diagram, you can see that F is equal to mu RF. Mu is the coefficient of addition. RF is the reaction force, dynamic reaction force on the wheel, right? So the friction theory, according to the friction theory, that F is equal to the coefficient of friction into normal reaction. The same theory, what we studied and what we handled in engineering mechanics. So the friction is very, very important to propel a car, not only propel, stop, as well as balancing, dynamically balancing a car, a friction force is required. The simple way to explain, without friction, we cannot propel a vehicle, we cannot stop a vehicle, we cannot balance a vehicle. So the friction theory is very, very important for automotive system. No friction, we can't propel. We can't imagine to design a car. Okay, so here the one of the application here, the friction to propel a vehicle, the torque is converted as force. If there is a sufficient friction between the tire and ground, the vehicle will propel. Otherwise, the vehicle will not propel, right? So why I have given a force only the front wheels? Why it is not given in the rear wheels? Because it's a front wheel drive vehicle. So the friction force develops only the front wheels. Okay, that is mu into RF. The maximum value is mu into RF. The force is acting on the vehicle. Now the force is acting on the vehicle. Come across the next, the Newton's law, the basic law, as everyone knows, that is F is equal to ma. F is the here, F is the total force acting on the body. Here, that is, we can call it as tractive force. In automotive system, we can call it as tractive force. Mass is the mass of the, m is the mass of the vehicle, a is the acceleration of the vehicle, right? F is equal to tractive force, mass, acceleration. Simple equation, F is equal to ma. So here, the a I can write it as d square x by dt square. So how that x I'm consider x is the displacement, x dot is the velocity, x double dot is the acceleration. Now you see this is a purely a mathematical expression. D square x by dt square is equal to f by m. Here one question is rising. There is f is the applied force. I'm equating to m x double dot. M x double dot. In practical case, it would not happen because any body is under motion. Definitely, the resistive force will be there. The whole the globe, the whole world, right? Any body is trying to move, we cannot avoid friction force. As a design engineer, we are supposed to reduce the frictional force. Then we can improve the performance or efficiency of the system. That we can do, but we cannot completely avoid friction force, right? So in this case here, the I'm neglecting all the resistive force acting on the vehicle. The question is why I have neglected, because I want to do a simple analysis. For simple analysis, my model, I am assuming there is no resistive force. That's a theoretical assumption. Purely, it is a theoretical assumption. That's why I told you before starting my lecture, the study one, case study one, I'm not considering the resistive force, right? The case two, I'm considering the resistive forces. Why I'm handling like this? Because this is very fundamental thing. So this is easy to understand. Compare with a real-time problem. Okay, that's why it is taken. So here, what are the assumption? There is no resistive force is acting. Again, if you look at this car diagram, the F into H here is the location of center of gravity in the vertical axis. So F into H, that's create a couple. F into H is create a couple at CG. That's why you can see that during acceleration, the rider can lift the front wheel. A stunt performer, or you can see that many advertisement, you can see that, right? When you are suddenly accelerate your vehicle, you can easy to lift the front axle or front wheel. How this F into H, this moment is supporting the driver to lift the front wheel. Similarly, sudden deceleration, rear wheel will be lifted up, easy to lift due to the load transfer effect. Why it is happening? It is because of the load transfer effect. What is that load transfer effect? Let us assume the front wheel total mass of the vehicle is 100 kg for easy understanding. I am taking 100 kg. 40 kg is acting at the front, 60 kg is acting at the rear. During acceleration, what would happen? This 40 kg drastically reduce based on that acceleration. If acceleration is more, sudden acceleration you are giving, that a system is effective, then that 40 kg is drastically reduced. It comes around 20 or 30. So the driver can easily give that force to lift the front wheel from the left wheel. The same thing is happening during deceleration. Driver is applying brake, then the load transfer effect is take place. Let us assume the same value 40, 60. 40 kg as the front axle, 60 kg as the rear axle. While the deceleration, this couple reduce the force at the rear wheels. So what will happen drastically? The reaction force is reduced. So it is easy to lift the rear wheel. Okay, that's why I have mentioned here F into H. So in this theory, in this assumption, there is no resistive force at all. Okay. If you have any doubt, you can ask me. Continue. So this is simple equation. Everyone knows that is fundamental. F is equal to ma. This is the mathematical modeling for my system, for simplified system. Simplified system. Here acceleration I have written in terms of displacement, d square x by dt square. Once again I'm telling x is the displacement of the vehicle here. X is the displacement of the vehicle. X dot, that is dx by dt, is the velocity. X double dot is acceleration. So here d square x by dt square is equal to F by m. So in our model, F is the tractive force, m is the mass of the vehicle. So I'm integrating once the acceleration, that everyone knows the simple expression, because it is very simple expression. I have assumed that F is equal to 2000 Newton, the tractive force acting on the tire and ground contact patch. One more important thing, if assume the friction is mu is 0, let us take mu is 0, then F is equal to 0. Mu cannot be 0 simply. You are assuming mu is very less, negligible value. So what would happen if mu is very less? The force is also get reduced. At the time, what would happen? Vehicle will not move forward direction, but wheels are rotating at a high speed. That you can see during rainy time. See what is happening during rainy time. Driver is accelerating the vehicle, right? The wheel will rotate faster, but vehicle will not move forward direction because there is no sufficient friction. Friction. If there is no sufficient friction, vehicle will not move forward direction. So here that is mu. That friction is very important. Very important. That engine may have good capacity power, but here if there is no friction, there is no torque at all. There is no torque, there is no tractive force, then vehicle will not move. Practical case, you can see that the mud road, the vehicle got in a mud road, the wheels are slipping. That's why that engineering mechanics, while we are using without slip, F is equal to mu n. We are using that expression. Okay. So this is integration that everyone knows. Here I am assuming F is 2000 Newton. That is a constant. Here F is a constant. I am assuming that in my case continuously 2000 Newton of force is acting on the vehicle. Continuously acting. The mass is 1000 kg. So 2000 divided by 1000, I'm getting 2 meter per second square. So this is the acceleration of my vehicle. Acceleration of my vehicle, change in velocity with respect to time. So once again, you are integrating f by m t plus c1 is a constant. I'm getting dx by dt f by m. I replace 2t plus c1. So this is equation 1. Again, I'm integrating. Again, I'm integrating. I'm getting x equal to t square plus c1t plus c2. So now you look at these equations. F by m equal to 2. That is one equation. F by m is equal to 2. That is one equation. How I am saying that is one equation? Because that is the acceleration of the vehicle. Acceleration of the vehicle. If we look at the second equation, dx by dt, that is 2t plus c1. That is the equation of motion. That is the velocity of the vehicle, right? And the third one, x, the displacement of the vehicle, distance traveled by the displacement of the vehicle means distance traveled by the vehicle after particular time. Here, what is the beauty here? If you look at this three equation, okay, this is a mathematical equation. As a engineer, as a design engineer, if you look at the mathematical equation, we should know the physics. What I try to say here, it is physics. F by m is equal to 2 meter per second square means in my vehicle is acceleration is not function of time. That is a constant one. Constant one. How I am saying that is it's a constant one because F is the attractive force is not function of time. Similarly, mass is not function of time. Both the parameters are constant. So I am getting only F by m is equal to 2 meter per second square. That is not function of time. If you look at this dx by dt, you see that is the function of time. Dx by dt. How it is function of time? It is 2t, 2 into t. Here t is the time. T is the time. So the velocity is the function of time. Velocity is the function of time. The mathematics teachers sometimes say y is the function of x. What does it mean? The y is varies with respect to x. Whenever there is a change in x, there is change in y. Similarly, in my case, whenever there is change in time, then change in velocity. Change in time, there is change in displacement. But change in time, there is no change in acceleration. There's no change in acceleration. So, while before solving, right, if we are considering the equation, because it is a simple equation to understand. So, before solving that, we should know the fundamentals. That is, acceleration is constant. In my case, only the velocity and displacement is the function of time. Function of time. So, that is equation 2. Just I am applying the boundary condition. Applying the boundary condition, and the t equal to 0, there is no displacement, there is no velocity. There is no velocity. Vehicle don't have the velocity. So what is the boundary condition? X is equal to 0 and x dot is equal to 0 at t is equal to 0. T is equal to 0. The velocity and displacement of the vehicle is 0 at time t is equal to 0. Sorry. So I substitute these conditions in that expression. I'm getting C10, Z20, C10, Z20. I'm putting x dot is equal to 0 and C10. Similarly, x equal to 0. I'm substituting t equal to 0. C1, C2. The constants are eliminated, right? So this is the final expression. After substituting the boundary condition, the acceleration is 2 meter per second square. X dot is the velocity of the vehicle is 2 times of time. X is the t square. This is a t square. So this is very simple equation. Simple equation. Acceleration is not function of time. Velocity is the function of time. You will get the straight line equation. Straight line equation because it is similar to y is equal to mx plus c. Mx plus c is 0 here, right? Instead of y, we have velocity. Instead of x, we have t, time. Similarly, x is equal to t square. X is equal to t square. It's a quadratic equation. Quadratic equation, you may get parabola, right? So this is simple case, this ideal case. So it is easy to understand. The practical cases, you know, that equation is so complicated, so it's very difficult to solve. Okay. So here now you see x is equal to t square, x dot equal to 2t. Here x I'm x is the displacement. I am write it as function of time. I don't bother about the function. Function may be t square plus 2t plus 5, t square minus 5t plus 8, whatever may be, right? It may not only in square, it may be in cubical or polynomial, right? The issue, no issue. Simply it is a function of time. Function of time. Similarly, x dot is the derivative of f dash t, right? But the beauty here, the simple case, x double dot is the acceleration not vary with respect to time. It's not very. So if you tabulated, I am getting with respect to time, I am getting x is the displacement, x dot is the velocity, x double dot is acceleration, acceleration is constant. I am getting x dot for the different time. T0, I am getting some value, T1, I am getting some value, T2, T3, T4, 5. Like that, you can run the program. You will get the value. You will get the value. Okay. So this is a thing, right? So this is a direct integration. What we did, what we look at, the expression, what we discussed, right? So yeah, so this is a simple equation we are doing is direct integration method. If you take any software, ANSYS or MATLAB, even any commercial software, right? They are not integrating direct, like what we are doing in mathematics. They are using the numerical methods for solving the problem. Solving the problem. All the softwares they are using different kind of solver, kind of solver. So here, what is the role of FEA? This is actually time dependent problem. Time dependent problem. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to divide the time. If you look at the case study case study one, my intention to find out the velocity, acceleration, and displacement for a vehicle for a time 5 seconds. 5 seconds. What I did, I divide these 5 seconds into 1 second. I make it in one. I'm calculating at every 1 second. I divide the 5 time 5 into 4 parts, for 5 parts, right? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So here that FEM or FEA, here I am dividing the time, discretize, as we know, direct meaning of that finite element, you know. I'm dividing. The question is why 1 second, why not 0.5? Okay, if you want we can do it 0.6, 0.7. It's not issue. See here, this I'm dividing the time here, right? Not dividing, that means I discretize okay time. So many software they are using these numerical methods. Advanced, there are many methods are there. They're using advanced method, MATLAB and ANSYS. See the case study one, this is a simple expression, so we can do it. In a practical case, I will show you that case study two, right? It's not easy. It's not like easy to do that. So we need a software. As a mechanical engineer or automobile engineer or design engineer, as a engineers or particular engineering, we are good enough knowledge in engineering, but we are lagging in mathematics. Not lagging means don't take it in wrong way. We can solve the simple problems and everything we can do it. But suppose it's complicated problems, even mathematician could not solve because it will consume lot of time. I will tell you simple example. If you calculate, right, for a dynamic problem. Generally, dynamic problem means any parameter of a system is varies with respect to time. It is called dynamic problem. Any parameters of the system is varies with respect to time. It is called, we can say it is dynamic problem. Example, in our system, vehicle is our system. In our system, What is the parameter? Velocity and acceleration. Here acceleration is not varying. In our case, velocity and displacement varies with respect to time. So this is dynamic problem. Dynamic problem. So if a dynamic problem means it is the equation is somewhat complicated, so it is not easy to solve. We need mathematics support. Similarly, it is consuming a lot of time. So there we are using software, MATLAB and ANSYS. Okay, if time permit, I will do it in the MATLAB. I will do simple analysis, right? And case 1, case 2 analysis, I will do it, right? This is a numerical. So this problem is solved by numerical method. This is the flowchart for my problem, my system, not general. This is not for general. Please understand what my point here. This is not general. All the cases, my presentation based on my assumption. So this problem, how I solved using numerical methods, that is FEM. Initial boundary condition, we know F naught equal to 0. Here F naught is the displacement of the vehicle at the time t is equal to 0, right? Do you agree what I'm telling? F naught equal to 0, what does it mean? F naught is displacement at the time t is equal to 0, the displacement of the vehicle is equal to 0. Similarly, F dash naught, velocity of the vehicle at t is equal to 0, the velocity is 0. Similarly, at F double dot 0, acceleration of the vehicle, that is 2 meter per second square, that is constant for my case. So this is the initial boundary condition. Using initial boundary condition, I will tell you how do you get this equation. F1 is equal to F naught plus F dash naught plus F double dash naught divided by 2. That is basically how do I get this expression from Taylor series. The numerical integration, this very fundamental is Taylor series. From the Taylor series only, they derived many expression and many advanced solver. Okay. So at that second point, I will tell you second. Similarly, F dash means velocity. My case is velocity. What is 1? At time t equal to 1. F2, what is F2? F2 is a displacement at time 2 seconds minus F naught, displacement at t is equal to 0. Okay, divided by 2 into 1, that I will tell you. So you will get the second equation. Then next time step, t is equal to 1. First time step, boundary condition we know t is equal to 0, that we know that. T1 delta t change in time every 1 second. Here delta t is the discretization. That is FEA, FEM, delta t. I am dividing the time for every 1 second. I am going to find out the response of my system, response of my vehicle. Delta t is equal to 1 second. I have assumed that is 1 second, right? So you will get the equation, second equation, that is also from Taylor series, right? And the third also we are using the Taylor equation. So we can find out the velocity and acceleration of the system, right? So this is given for the flowchart is given for my simple system, right? So the Taylor series, how do you get this expression, velocity and acceleration? And the Taylor is defined, right? That function, any function with respect to time, how the function, how that function respond for small delta t. What does it mean? Fd plus delta t. What does mean? Any function. In our case, what is that? F is a t. Ft is nothing but our displacement. Do you agree? Ft is equal to displacement. I could not recall my value. I think so. T square. I think so. T square. My case is t square, right? What is the effect of change in time? A small change in time. Taylor is given an equation Ft plus F dash t delta t. So purely is a mathematics. Mathematics. So Ft minus delta t. Similarly, decrement value t minus delta t. What is you are getting? Right, this is second equation, Taylor series. So I am subtracting 1 and 2. I'm subtracting 1 and 2. So you are getting f dash t. I am subtracting that equation, that is first one and second one. What is that equation? First one, ft plus delta t. Second, ft minus delta t. I am subtracting these two. I'm getting this ft plus delta t minus ft minus delta t divided by 2. The simple direct subtract. Similarly, add, I'm getting this. So what is the beauty here? F dash t, we know that is the velocity of my vehicle. F dash t is the velocity of my vehicle. F double dash d is the acceleration of my vehicle. Ft is the displacement of my vehicle with respect to time. With respect to time. So I am substituting here. If you know these three equations, what are the equation? Ft plus delta t, Ft minus delta t, F dash t, F double dash t. After that, simple mathematics, you have to substitute. I am assuming delta t is equal to 1 second. Delta t is 1 second. I'm here putting t is equal to 0. Delta t is equal to 1 second. 1 second. So you get the expression f naught f dash naught into 1. So see, this is simple mathematics. You simplify this. My case, ft is equal to t square, f dash t is 2t, f double dash is 2 meter per second square. So you substitute, you will get 0. You will get 0. F1, you will get, you substitute this f naught and f dash naught. F dash naught and f double dot naught, right? You can get f1. What is this f1? Using boundary condition, I have determined f1. F1 is the displacement of vehicle at the time t is equal to 1 second. T is equal to 1 second. So 1 meter. What does it mean? The physical mean? My vehicle might have traveled for 1 meter after 1 second. This is the physical meaning of this. F1 equal to 1 meter. After 1 second, my vehicle may have traveled 1 meter. Similarly, this is what is that? F double dash, F double dash t. Actually, there is a small mistake, that is F dash t, not F double dash t, F dash t. Okay. So similarly, you substitute. We have displacement and velocity and acceleration expression. You can substitute, right? Substitute. You will get 2 f dash 1. F dash 1 is equal to 2 meter per second. The velocity of my vehicle after 1 second, my vehicle velocity is 2 meter per second. 2 meter per second, right? So like that we can calculate every 1 second. Every 1 second, this calculated. Every 1 second, it is calculated, right? T is equal to 3, delta t is equal to 1, right? Simple, I am substituting the basic three equation. I have basic three equation: velocity, displacement, and acceleration, and I'm substituting. That's all. Simple mathematics. If you look at this, F5 is equal to 25 meter. What does it mean? After 5 seconds, a vehicle may travel 25 meter. 25 meter, right? So F dash by. So this is a case. So these values are tabulated, right? And in my previous slide, it is tabulated in direct method, direct integration. Similarly, the same problem is solved using computational methods. That means numerical methods. I am getting the same solution. Because here it is theoretical, and theoretical means the direct integration as well as the numerical methods are matching because of my function. If function is quite complicated, we will get error, no doubt about it. We cannot get exact solution. What I try to say, first I did direct integration, integrating, so first time integrating, second time integrating, I'm getting the solution, right? The second, I use numerical methods, but I'm getting the same solution without any error, because my function is very simple. A simple function. It is matching with my assumption. That means my assumption means my in numerical analysis. Numerical analysis. That's why I'm getting the solution. Otherwise, I will not get some complicated practical cases. It would not match. There will be some error that I would like to highlight here. Right now, you come to the vehicle dynamics. Again, come to the vehicle dynamics. What are the forces are acting on the vehicle? If you look at this first one, right hand side, that first diagram, air resistance. Whenever that vehicle is moving on air, actually all the body in the earth, not only earth, in the globe, is immersed in air. Immersed in air. We are surrounded by air. Surrounded by air. Whenever we are displacing, we are moving, right? We are compressing air and moving forward. Moving forward. But we cannot notice it. We cannot see it. Cannot see it. We are displacing the any body is moving in the earth, displacing air and moving forward. Moving forward. So no doubt about it. Whenever you are displacing the air, we need some energy. Energy to displace the air. That is air resistance. The still air. I'm talking about still air. Still air means sometimes what would happen during storm or something, right? Air is blowing some velocity, wind gust. Wind is moving some velocity, right? During that season, that wind is blowing some velocity, the resistance acting on the vehicle is increased, will be increased, right? More resistive force on the vehicle, right? But in the still air means the velocity of the air is zero. I'm assuming negligible or zero. That is called still air. Still air here, then resistive, that V is equal to vehicle speed. Vehicle relative velocity. Relative velocity is the vehicle speed only. Still air. Still air. Vehicle. That is the first one. Air resistance. Second one is rolling resistance. When the wheels try to rotate, we are giving energy, we are giving torque to rotate the wheel using engine. Drive is given to the wheel. So that is rolling resistance. Rolling resistance will induce. Rolling resistance will be. The third one, if you look at this diagram, third one, that is called gradient resistance. Vehicle moving on a slope. The gravity is pushing your vehicle in the downward direction. Downward direction. So engine has to work against the gravity force. Against the gravity force. So these are the major force acting on a vehicle. Resistive force acting on the vehicle. These are the force are preventing the vehicle movement. These force that the drag force is acting on the vehicle, right, against engine working, right? So this is converted as torque, engine torque, engine torque. These forces are converted as engine torque. In the application, torque we can convert into force we can convert into torque with respect to perpendicular distance. The torque is twisting moment, right? It is a twisting moment, right? So these three loads are acting on the vehicle. These three loads are acting on your engine crankshaft. Engine crankshaft rotation is prevented by these three forces. Three forces. Okay, through driveline. If you take a car, wheel and aft shaft, then differential, gearbox, clutch, and crankshaft, flywheel and the crankshaft, engine crankshaft. Okay, so these forces acting on the engine, right? So these are the three forces. Air resistance, rolling resistance, gradient. Then one more is resistance due to inertia. Inertia is very important. As Newton says, the inertia force is the imaginary force is acting at the CG of the vehicle. That we can mathematically we can define this mass into acceleration of any body, right? So during starting, the inertia force is huge, high in vehicle. That's why we have to move the vehicle from the first gear. We need more tractive effort. More tractive effort. That's why we can start the vehicle from the first gear, and similarly, then gradually we are reducing the gear, downing the gear. Then we are reducing the force because during starting that the high inertia is required. Similarly, the air resistance, rolling, and gradient, right? You can see that again. This is the air resistance, inertia, rolling, gradient, air, right? Uh, gradient theta, some angle. We can see mathematically we can say W sin theta, right? These are the three forces. So air resistance is due to the air drag. That any body in the fluid mechanics, you might have. You are taking the class to the students, right? Drag resistive. Any body is immersed in a air, right? Fluid. Here fluid is air. Of rho A V square into CD, drag coefficient A rho, right? Here rho is the density of air, because we are propelling the vehicle in air. Let us take a ship. Ship is propelling a ship in a water. So the resistive force will be high. It's more partially immersed in water, partially immersed in air. Okay, so our medium in automotive, pure case automotive, air is the resistive force. So the rho, right? So how to calculate this rho? Sometimes in thermodynamics, we might have used rho is equal to P divided by RT, pressure, atmosphere pressure, and temperature, and gas constant. Rho equal to P divided by RT. Then frontal area of the vehicle. See, if you look at this frontal area, if the frontal area of the vehicle is more, frontal area, how to find the frontal area? You have to capture the image of the vehicle in a screen, all right, passing the light, projection of solid. Here solid is vehicle. Park a vehicle in front of VP, vertical plane, and on the HP, in our graphics. Then you are passing a light 90 degree on the VP and parallel to HP. Then you capture the image. You are passing the light from front of the vehicle to rear side. So what would happen? And the VP, vertical plane, you are getting the image. Image means projection of the solid. Then you find out the area. This area. That is the application of projection of solid. In automotive system. Why the automobile students or mechanical students to study the projection of solid? That application is here, right? If any manufacturer is modify his vehicle front profile, he is supposed to calculate this frontal area. That projection may be looking good, aesthetic look. It may give aesthetic look. The same time, design engineer considering the resistive forces. What I try to say here, some shape may give better aesthetic look, but what is the impact of that aesthetic look on the design, air resistance, that we supposed to consider. Similarly, this is a drag coefficient, that is change in pressure acting on the vehicle, right, along the longitudinal axis. Okay, we have to tap what is that losses. Then V, here it is a vehicle velocity. Generally we will put it as vehicle relative velocity, not V. Vehicle relative velocity. Why here which is vehicle relative velocity? Sometimes air is blowing some velocity. We have to consider that also. Sometimes air may hit the vehicle some orientation. Orientation means some angle. At the time you have to resolve that vector. What do you call the air vector? Vector means that the velocity of the air, we have to resolve it along the propelling direction and perpendicular direction. So that's why we are supposed to use V relative velocity. That is a standard actually formula. Simplified case vehicle velocity, right? Similarly, rolling resistance. It's a function of vehicle weight. Vehicle weight is more, and the rolling resistance is high. That is defined here. It's function of weight. Okay, the weight of the vehicle is increased, then resistive force will increase. They're directly proportional. Gradient resistance we already discussed. That is W sin theta. How do you get the W sin theta? You resolve that weight parallel to the propelling plane and perpendicular to the propelling plane. Again, engineering mechanics resolving the forces. What is the application of resolving the forces? Application of resolving forces. I'm resolving the W into two components, W sin theta, W cos theta. W sin theta, which is parallel to the inclined plane. W sin theta is perpendicular to the inclined plane. Inclined plane means the propelling plane, the plane on which the vehicle is moving, right? So the W sin theta is contribute. Let us take if theta equal to 0, that means level road. That's a level road, theta equal to 0. Theta equal to 0, then it's become 0. That is perpendicular, right? The whole W is acting perpendicular, right? So this is a simple expression. Okay. Total resistance. This is the total resistance acting on the vehicle. Total resistance acting on the vehicle. So if you consider, you add all the things. So here you see this is the total resistance, this is weight and rho, CD. There are very many parameters. Parameters is we supposed to do. In a practical case, what we supposed to do generally, the resistance they are defining as A plus BV plus CV square. It's a quadratic equation. It's a function of velocity. In general, designer is following this expression. That means total resistance is function of velocity. Total resistance is a function of velocity. How it is a function of velocity? If you look at this third term, CV square. CV square, C is a constant that is represent here. You can see that of rho A CD. That is a constant. Okay. After designing the vehicle, A will not change. Similarly, density of the air will not change. Similarly, CD of the particular vehicle will not change. After completing your design, right, these parameter will not change. So you can take it as C. Can you understand what I'm telling? Of rho A CD. That you can consider as C, CV square, CV square. Right. Similarly, the KRW, some design engineer they are representing in terms of constant plus vehicle velocity. Why here it is vehicle velocity? There will be a bearings. Bearings are supporting the wheel, right? The bearings are rotating the particular velocity. So the resistive force will come. Resistive force will come. Here this Kr is nothing but in terms of that velocity and constant. W also added. Vehicle will not much change in vehicle weight in case of heavy vehicles and four wheelers. Okay, so this is a next level practical case. A plus BV plus CV square. The last term is air resistance. First two terms is rolling resistance. Here, please understand that there is no gradient resistance. Gradient resistance is not considered in this equation. Only rolling resistance and air resistance is considered. A plus BV plus CV square. This is the resistive force is acting on the vehicle. So how to find out this this thing, right? What you called this resistive force, the resistive force FT RT. How to find out this? If you have a vehicle, you have to run the vehicle for a speed of or any speed, right? 70 km per hour. 70 km per hour. Then you remove the tractive force. That means you hold a vehicle clutch. Then what would happen? That vehicle velocity decreases with respect to time. Vehicle velocity decreases with respect to time. So you note down that velocity and time. So you have the velocity and the time graph, right? Once again, I'm telling, if you want to find out this parameter A, B, C, we supposed to find out. The vehicle to vehicle, it may vary. A, B, C. A, B, C is the coefficient of resistance. That is varies vehicle to vehicle. So how to find out that coefficients? You have to run the vehicle to a particular kilometer, 70 kilometer or 60 kilometer. After reaching the 60 kilometer, you hold the clutch. That is why you are holding the clutch. Then you are removing the tractive force. At the time, only the resistive forces are acting on the vehicle. Do you agree? You are holding the clutch, only resistive force is acting. So you get the velocity and time. You have to measure the vehicle velocity and time. Vehicle velocity and time. Vehicle velocity and time. So you get a graph. You get a graph. That graph is very important for finding A, B, C value. From the graph, velocity and time graph, we can find out F. Again, that Newton's first law, second law, F is equal to ma. Change in velocity with respect to time, it is acceleration. Once you get the acceleration, multiply with the mass, you will get the force. You will get the force. That is the fundamental for finding here. And we have determine a value for a three-wheeler. For a three-wheeler. So this is a value. A value is minus 0.2465. B value 16.65. C value 48.58. We have determined this. So now you see, this is the resistive force acting on the vehicle, the polynomial curve. We have the polynomial curve with the degree 2. Resistive force in terms of vehicle velocity. But in my case 1 study, I neglect these resistive forces. So no doubt about it, that will not match up with our practical case, real time. It will not be real time. It is an ideal one, right? Definitely, this resistive force acting on the vehicle. So after curve fitting, this we did with my student Parameshwar and Purushothaman. We have determined for three-wheeler, right? This is the ABC value for the three-wheeler. Now you see, this is a case study 2, considering the resistive forces. Now you see the equation. Now you look at this equation. What is my case study 1? F is equal to mx double dot. That is no resistive force. The simple expression we solved. But here you see F minus R. What is this R? R is the total resistance force, resistive force acting on the vehicle. Mass into acceleration, mx double dot. Now you see how to solve this x double dot. In my previous case, x double dot is equal to F by m. Now you look at this equation, how to do that? So I'm struggling here. How to solve this differential equation function of x. So in this case, I need a software. Then it is for me easy to find out the solution, right? We may solve this, but it will take some time. Sometimes we have enough knowledge in mathematics, only we can do this. Similarly, I have a doubt whether we can solve using direct integration method. We are supposed to use numerical simulation. Once you are using numerical simulation, it's a lengthy calculation. Calculation may be simple, but we have to spend more time. So this is the application of FEA, and the application of many software. So here, you will get x dot, you will get x. This is the real time. Actually, mathematical modeling of my vehicle. So it is not easy to solve. So we need a software. Okay. So case 1, case 2, right? Here, just I put a hold for my presentation PPT. I'm going to use MATLAB, right? Now, so this is a MATLAB main screen. right? Only once you open the MATLAB, you will get this screen. This is a workspace, right? MATLAB, I am using Simulink. I am not going to teach MATLAB. My problem, how I am going to solve my problem in MATLAB, that I am going to tell you, right? So this is the MATLAB is nothing but if we consider our case study two, I am struggling how to solve. I don't know because I am not a mathematician. I am a physician. I know only the physics. So I don't know mathematics. So I need a help, right, from a mathematician. Instead of mathematician, I am using this software. This is the application of any software, MATLAB or ANSYS, whatever it is. You can solve all the mathematical work. You can do all the mathematical work. You can solve all the problem using MATLAB. Start from LKG to researcher. You can do all the work. In the MATLAB, the olden days using a program like our C language, they are writing a program in particular model, particular fashion you are supposed to write. But in the Simulink, there's an inbuilt model. It is so easy to do that. We don't want to remember anything, right? And just like that, we can do it. Similarly, you pick the Simulink, you will open block, already built up block is there, blank model, and just I'm opening the blank model. Recently, we have purchased in our college, we have purchased this software campus license. We have campus license. Recently, we have purchased in our college, right? We are providing the software to the students as well as faculty members. So this is the main window, the Simulink. This is main window. This is workspace. This is the main window in the MATLAB. This is for Simulink. Okay. So here there is a library browser. There is an inbuilt model. Inbuilt model. So many models have been developed. And added in this Simulink, right? If you let us take vehicle dynamics, they have developed many models. We don't want to do any model. They already developed. If you want, you can use this. Otherwise, if you have developed own mathematical modeling, then you can directly use. You don't want to use this right? So here it is commonly used blocks. What are the blocks you are using that we can find here? So in our first case, what is the first case? I integrate twice. What is that? F by m is equal to 2. Please recall it. F by m is acceleration is equal to 2, right? Then what are the thing? Integrating twice, you will get the velocity and distance displacement of the vehicle. So I need integrator block. So I need one more integrator. Copy. So slow. Copy and paste. So integrator. So let us assume in the first integrator, the acceleration is the input. Let us assume. What is that acceleration? F by m. It is not function of time. Force as well as mass is not function of time. Both the values are constant. So I can give that, sorry, from I used constant one, that is constant. Constant, right? So if you know the name of the block, if you type constant, you will get the block. You'll get the block, no doubt. If you want, you can get it like this. Otherwise, you have to go to the library and you have to get the block, right? So F by M, this is the input. I'm talking about my first model, first case study, right? Here F by M. What is the value of F by M? Is 2. F by M is 2. I'm giving input. This is acceleration. This signal is acceleration. Signal name, acceleration of the vehicle per minute. Left mouse and you can drag, you can drag. I'm once integrating, I'll get velocity. What is this signal? This is velocity. Sorry, velocity of vehicle. Velocity of vehicle. So what do you get? The output is displacement. Output is displacement. I want to look at the I want to look at this output, right? So I have to suppose to use scope, output scope, right? So this is a scope. I can look at the output, but I want to look at the acceleration, velocity, and displacement. So I need 3 inputs. Actually, this is only one input. So I need 3 inputs. So I go to that format. Sorry, signal and ports, number of inputs and ports. I need 3. I need 3. So so F by M is acceleration. It is 2, right? Once integrating, I will get the velocity, right? Again, I'm integrating, I will get the, what I called, displacement of the vehicle. Displacement of the vehicle. So I want to run the program for 10 seconds. Here I want, if you want to run the program for 100 seconds, you can change. 20 seconds, you can change. Right, I'm going to run for the 10 second. Actually, in our direct integration method, we calculate for 5 seconds. 5 seconds, right? 5 seconds. So I put 5. Put 5. Now I run the program, right? So it is solved. If you are getting any error, you will get the error message. I think so. It is solved. So you can. I'm opening the scope. Here you can see that here it is 100%. So you see. So I have the vehicle velocity, displacement, acceleration. Okay. If you want to make it separate, right? View, layout. So I change this. So first one is acceleration, velocity of the vehicle. The third one is displacement. Third one is displacement. Okay. Here the signal, displacement of the vehicle, right? So once again, if you do any changes, you have to run it again, right? Then only it will reflect displacement of the vehicle. You see, the acceleration is constant. Acceleration is constant, 2 meter per second square. Velocity of the vehicle is varies with respect to time. X-axis is time. I have run the program for 5 seconds. 5 seconds. If you look at the our method, direct integration or numerical method, we are getting the same solution. Same solution because velocity is 2 times of time. 2 times of time, say let us take 5 is equal to 5, 2 into 5, 10. So velocity of the vehicle after 5 seconds, 10 meter per second. Similarly, if you check the displacement, the t square, the square of the time is 5, 5 square, you will get 25. Get 25. The input is 2. So this is the simple model for my case 1 without any resistive force. Resistive force, I can get this. Suppose you want any what do you call the if you need values, say example t is equal to 0, what is the value? T is equal to 2. If you want, you can values. You want to get the values. So you go to library browser, sinks. Sinks, you put a out. Sorry. Displacement, right? Velocity, right? Modeling, model setting. If you want, if you change this will be so easy. That's why model setting, data input output, instead of data set you put array. You put array. All right. Now I'm going to run this program. Again, I run it and I look at this values in main screen, right? So in the main screen, actually, this is what happened. Actually, in the main screen, you can get all the values. Something happened. Actually, here you'll get workspace. Actually, sorry, I stuck up here. Actually, in the default, I think so. I don't know. There is a problem in that license. I have to check it out. Here you will get workspace. Right, in the workspace, you can collect all the data. One table will open here, right? Sorry, if time permit, I will do it again.
Ganesh sir.
Yes, yes.
We have 15 more minutes, no problem.
What, sir?
Sir, we have more than 15 minutes available, no problem, sir. You can continue.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay, sir. Okay, sir. Sorry. Something it's, I think so, problem in that software, I think so. Actually, the default window will open here. I'll check it out now. No issue. Okay. So this is a simple model, right? Again, I come to my PPT presentation. So this is again the theory part, tractive effort and relationship. The first gear, the dotted line shows the when the vehicle is running in the first gear, second dotted line, and the bottom one, right? From top to bottom. Second dotted line is the second gear. This is third gear. This is fourth gear. So I want the tractive effort like this profile. Any vehicle, right? Tractive effort, function of velocity. Function of velocity. The vehicle supposed to the vehicle system supposed to follow this profile, red profile. Okay, red profile. What is the red profile? Tractive effort versus vehicle velocity. Suppose you are working on electric vehicle. You need a plot like this, torque versus tractive effort is nothing in our vehicle tractive effort, right? So multiply with the wheel radius, effective radius, you will get the torque, wheel torque, right? So you need like this, you need a profile like this. The blue line is the resistive force, it's a function of time. I told you already in that expression, in the real-time world, vehicle resistive force is a function of vehicle velocity, a plus dv plus v square. That's why you are getting the quadratic equation. Quadratic equation. See, the both lines are intersect at a point. The red and as well as the blue lines are intersect at a point. The point at which vehicle reach the maximum velocity. Maximum velocity. Beyond that point, the resistive force is more than the tractive force. That would not happen. Resistive force more than the tractive force. That would not happen, right? That means that is we are working on braking regime, right? Before that point, the excessive force is available to propel your vehicle. That means accelerate your vehicle. The resistive force is lesser than the tractive force is lesser than the resistive force. F minus R is equal to ma, right? Before that point, that maximum velocity point, before that, F minus R is positive. F minus R is positive, so the vehicle is accelerated. After that point, F minus R is negative. So the vehicle is braking, behavior is braking, right? During braking, there is a simple graph, right? Represent the tractive effort and so the simulation I completed on simulation, human knowledge and computer calculation. So before doing simulation, you should have the basic knowledge about the system, mathematical modeling. F is equal to mx double dot, I told you. Without that knowledge, we cannot do simulation work. With the fundamental knowledge only, you can do that. Now you come to that. This is what is the simulation model for my case 2 with the resistive force. With the resistive force, right? You can see that this is the model. Sorry, I want to. Right. So this is a model, right? So this is a real time. Attractive force is acting in the function of time. The resistive force is acting. I have modeled this again, integrating acceleration, velocity, and displacement, right? You will get the output. You get the output. This is here. This is application of numerical integration. Numerical integration or MATLAB, any software higher end software. We cannot do any mathematical work, right? If you have sufficient knowledge in mathematics, you can solve this governing equation. Governing equation. This is mathematical modeling for a vehicle, real-time vehicle. If you have sufficient knowledge, we can solve, right? But what would be the problem? It will take lengthy time, take long time to solve this. Okay. So I'm giving. So here, what is this? This slide. You can see that tractive force versus velocity, right? I need tractive force like this. So I am simplified this graph into two lines. One is inclined line, another one is the horizontal line. What does it mean? My tractive effort at time is equal to 0, 2000 Newton. After 6 seconds, the tractive effort becomes 250 Newton. After 6, it's maintained the same value. Okay. Can you understand what I'm telling? Starting 2000, it is reduced up to 6 to the value of 250. After 6, it's maintained 250. It's maintained 250. What is that? What is that meaning of this? What is the meaning of this? If immediately you can ask that, you may know that after 6 seconds, the vehicle velocity is constant because it is reaching the maximum speed. At around 6 seconds, it's reached maximum speed. Look at this. This is the input. This is the input to the model. So I can find the acceleration, velocity, and time. I will get the graph like this. The first one from the top, first one is input. I recall my first case, F by m equal to 2. That means the acceleration is only 2. That is a constant value, simple case. Here it is a force is a function of time. That is not a constant value. It is a function of time. With respect to time the F gets varied, right? Function of time, that is the input. The second one is the acceleration. Third one is the velocity. The fourth one is the displacement. Displacement is not zero actually. Some value in terms of, because the scale is, you see, 1000, 2000, 3000 meter. That's why it's look like zero. Actually, it is not zero. You'll have some value. So this is the output for that model, my mathematical model, right? For the case 2. Case 2 I did for case 1. Murugan sir, I think so time's up, or shall I continue, or you can wind up?
So we have 10 more minutes, sir.
Okay,
if
sir.
you want, you can continue. No problem.
Oh, okay, sir. Then I will finish it, right? For me, it's no problem. 10 minutes is not issue. It's okay for participants. I will. Okay. Sir.
Otherwise, we'll open for the question session, sir. No problem.
Okay, sir. What is the opinion? Okay, sir. Open for.
Okay, sir. We'll stop the presentation.
Okay.
Yes, Amos, sir.
Yes, sir.
Hello. Dear participants, if you have any doubts and clarification regarding this vehicle dynamics and this demo lecture, you can put your questions to the guest. You unmute yourself and ask the questions. Participants. So I think there are no questions.
Okay, sir.
Yes, sir. Thank you for your wonderful session. Actually, you have given a very good explanation about this vehicle dynamics, and introduce MATLAB also for our participants. So, but this analysis, sir, we can do only with the licensed software, right, sir? Otherwise,
yes,
we
sir,
cannot
yes,
do.
Sir.
Yes, sir.
Cracked version also the people are doing.
Okay, sir. Okay. I think the participants may give one of this as a student project, right? Your UG level project, we can definitely give. Yes, sir. So thank you, sir.
No, thank you.
Thank you for your wonderful session and valuable time.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Okay.